Hey everyone, welcome to the Laser channel where we learn, create, and share. My name is Greg, and first message I want to take care of is up in the corner of the screen. This video may contain paid promotion, and that's there because BlazeX sent me this machine and all the accessories we just saw with the idea that I'm going to share my experience with all of you. Now, don't confuse that with they're paying me to say certain things about the machine or to tell you that you should buy the machine. I would never do that in this video or any of my other videos. I make my videos in my own style, and I simply share my experience with all of you. Now, with that covered, let's jump into this box and check out the M3 laser machine, which also has the enclosure with the version that I have. Pretty excited about diving into this. Off camera, I did take a sneak peek just to make sure that nothing is damaged and everything looks good. Now, in the past, when I covered mini laser machines, I wouldn't say that I turned my nose up to it, but I wasn't always sure just how big of a market it was for us. But this video is being recorded in the beginning of December, and I'm realizing that there's a lot of people that just want to kind of get their feet wet with laser machines, and they don't want to jump into a super huge machine that takes up a lot of space. They also don't want to jump into something that is super expensive, and that's where these mini laser machines really fit the bill. As we can see, everything is packaged with either styrofoam or this nice squishy foam stuff. I'm going to grab the camera and we're going to do a quick fly around and check out all the bits and pieces that are included with this M3 kit with the enclosure. The enclosure comes mostly pre-assembled, speeding up the process. It does include all of the tools and of course the fasteners to put it together along with the manual. Switching over to the M3 laser machine, we've got a nice color user manual. When I flip into a couple of pages here after we get through the warnings and stuff, we're going to see that it includes a lot of scannable QR codes for getting the software first connected up to the machine. And then it goes through basic specifications and the rest of the setup of the machine. As we can see, it comes pre-assembled with only the fitment of the laser module is needed. There's some tools for basic adjustments and maintenance on the machine, a brush for cleaning up the projects from the included craft paper material, and some laser quality plywood. This is the material that I'll be using later on for the sample project. I've got a USB cord, power supply, the machine itself, of course. There is an SD memory card, they call it a TF card, and there is a card reader included with the machine, and of course, safety glasses. However, those we shouldn't have to use too much because we have the safety enclosure that has the nice eye-friendly orange guarding. Checking out the laser module, the M3 series is offered in this, a 5-watt laser module, a 10-watt laser module, and even a 1-watt IR module. All the modules are interchangeable. This 5-watt module is still feature-packed. It has a air nozzle on the side and the air assist nozzle down by the laser end. So this 5-watt laser module is air assist ready. The orange safety shroud includes the focus gauge on the side, flips down for easy setting and then flips back up out of the way. This is all pretty neat, and I really like that the M3 comes all pre-assembled, speeding up the time from unboxing to creating projects. I do have to do a little bit of assembly with the enclosure, but once again, it comes largely pre-assembled. And I do like the idea that they left a lot of the protective wrap on here so that this nice orange plastic doesn't get damaged or scratched during shipping. I'm going to turn the camera off and put the enclosure together, but I am going to keep an eye on the clock and I'll be back in just a second to let you know just how long it took to put the enclosure together and attach it to the M3. 11 minutes and 44 seconds later, and the enclosure is all complete. Everything fit together perfectly. It would have been a little bit faster, but my eyes did have a little trouble reading the small print in the manual, but I guess that's why I use reading glasses, which I didn't have on. The other thing that I could have done is went into the manual and scanned the QR code and watch a video of the enclosure being put together. The assembly is complete. Next, let's get a close-up look of the M3, the enclosure, and I'll cover some of the specifications. The laser modules are interchangeable, and as mentioned, they come in a 5-watt, 10-watt, and 1-watt IR module to handle a broad range of engraving and cutting materials with precision. Beginner-friendly precision, designed for effortless assembly. It offers engraving accuracy down to 0.01 millimeters, which is really small, and speeds up to 20,000 millimeters per minute. That's going to be 333 millimeters per second. Perfect for those new to laser engraving. Software compatibility with CutLabX, Laser Gerbil, and Lightburn, giving you full creative control through your preferred software. Today I'm going to use CutLabX, which is, in my opinion, the best free software available today. The work area comes in at 360 by 300 millimeters. In freedom units, that's going to be 14.29 inches by 11.6 inches. The frame of the M3 is going to be constructed of a high-strength aluminum alloy that is anodized a cold gray color, along with key ABS plastic parts. These mini laser machines like the M3 are a great way to get introduced to lasers and making lots of different projects on many different types of materials like wood, paper, leather, black acrylic, coated glass, rock, including slate coasters, just to name a few. The honeycomb accessory is an all-metal construction, including the aluminum bottom plate. This is going to protect the tabletop surface underneath the laser machine. The honeycomb bed itself is magnetic, so my favorite red magnets stick to it. I use these to hold the work material in place during the projects. All of this is held to the machine with 4 included standoff screws. Next, we're going to take a glimpse at the rotary attachment and the leg extensions for the M3. We'll check out the leg extensions. I've got them in my hand. Pretty straightforward. I've just got a bag of the height adjustment legs that look like that. The rotary unit, it actually has quite a bit of weight to it. When we open the box up, we're greeted by, once again, a nice color manual. I'm going to flip into a couple pages so we can check that out and see that it goes into great detail getting the rotary unit set up and calibrated for the machine. And of course, it includes the motor cable. One end connects up to the motor, and the USB connector on the other end connects up to the machine. The rotary unit itself is built like a tank. This thing is made out of some thick, solid aluminum. On the bottom are 2 rubber strips, so when it's placed on the work table, it doesn't slide around at all. Speaking of sliding around, the 2 drive rollers here for the material are rubber covered to prevent material from sliding around. If I have large projects that are overhanging the edge, it includes this auxiliary wheel set. It gets the same rubber pad treatment underneath so it doesn't slide around on the table, and it uses this little adjustment screw that uses kind of a jacking mechanism to raise and lower the wheel set. This all looks really cool, and it's definitely all solid construction. This too, by the way, is an all metal construction. The only plastic on here are the 2 rubber wheels, so it has some traction on the work material. Now, be sure to check back when I have the video coming out for the rotary attachment where I get it set up to the machine, get it calibrated, and make a sample project. For now though, I'm going to move this off to the side and turn my attention back to the laser machine and check out the CutLabX software. More details can be found at BlazeX.com. I'll have links down below where you can check out the machine and all the compatible accessories. While the M3 is compatible with CutLabX, Laser Gerbil, and the paid Lightburn software, my recommendation on this mini machine is going to be CutLabX. The SD card, or the TF card as they like to call it, is already installed in the front of the machine. I removed it and installed it in the USB card reader that is included with the machine. I want to just check out some of the files that are on there because there's some pretty important ones that we're going to need to get up and running. I recommend copying the entire contents of that SD card over to your computer so you've got them anytime that you need them. Once they're copied over, take that SD card and place it back inside of the machine. That way you always know where it is. Now we're inside of the computer and I'm using a Windows computer, so let's check out the Windows folder. It is going to have 2 files inside of there. One of them is going to be called driver, and I think this is the most important file when you're setting up a new computer up to the machine for the very first time. It is going to need this driver installed. It is CH341. That is what the computer is going to use to connect up to the machine. Without this, the computer is never going to connect. I've already got it installed on mine, but on your machine, all you'd simply do is right-click on it and then run as administrator, and the computer will take care of the rest. Backing up, we'll check out the software folder next, and here's where CutLabX is located on the SD card, and version 1.22 is actually the current version. I'll back up a little bit more here and we'll see that they've got all the files that are needed for Mac computers as well. There's Laser Gerbil software, which is free. I just find it's not as easy to use as CutLabX. We also have the user manual. That is a PDF form. I'll back up once again, and then there's also another folder with all kinds of pictures in it. Here, let me change the view so we see all the thumb views. And here are all the free pictures included on that SD card, and maybe we'll use one of these in today's video, or maybe we'll use one of my own. It's always worthwhile to check out the included SD card that comes with the machine. I have all the files copied over to my computer, and now I can take that SD card and place it back on top of the machine. Once that's set, and I have that device driver installed, I've got the software installed, I can now take the USB cable included with the machine and plug that into my computer. And with the safety lid closed on the machine, if yours has that option on it, I can now go to CutLabX and start up the software. And as soon as I started the software, the machine is automatically homing, which means the computer is already connected to the machine, and I didn't have to do anything other than open the software. I don't think it gets any easier than that. Here's the landing screen within the software, and we can see that there's all kinds of pre-made projects. A lot of them are free. Some of them cost a little bit of money. To gain access to a lot of features and different things within the software, I can create a free login. I'm going to skip that today to show you just how powerful this software is without even having to create a registration. And by the way, I'm not affiliated with CutLabX by any means. I just think it's a really great software that looks very similar to the paid version of Lightburn software. It doesn't have all the features of Lightburn software, but it's free and it's pretty simple to use. To start a project, I'll simply click to start creation, and now I'm all set. Across the left-hand side of the screen are my basic drawing tools. Across the top, I have different alignment tools and different options if I want to add a camera vision system or even use an AI picture generation tool. To use that, I do have to create a free login account. On the right-hand side, there's a number of different tabs. The default is going to be cuts and layers, where I can choose to either cut or engrave, and I can pick my speed and power settings from there. There's another tab called move, where I can manually jog the laser head around, and then a console tab that tells me some pretty geeky stuff that honestly I never look at. And at the very bottom is a fixed tab. It never closes. It's going to allow me to pause, stop, start the laser machine, hit the preview button, where it's going to draw kind of a phantom box around the project area. That way I have the machine and the material lined up with one another. And down here, it's going to say that I'm connected with the USB cable on the communication port number 7, which it did that automatically by simply starting up the software. The material I'm going to use for the sample project is one of the plywood squares that is included with the machine. I'm going to take a quick measurement and see that it's just shy of 4 inches. When I switch over to millimeters, we're going to see that it is 100 millimeters by 100 millimeters. And that way, when I import my graphic, I know what size to make it. For that, I'm simply going to navigate to the top here and hit the Open File button, find my picture that I want, and bring it into the software. All right, I found a picture, and when it's bringing it in, it's going to ask me if I want to replace the white background with a transparent color. I'm going to hit yes, I do want it to do that. And that's because the white is a color and the laser may see that as something that it may need to lightly engrave, and I actually want the white to be totally not engraved. I only want the black areas of the photo to do the engraving. Now let me scroll wheel back on my mouse and zoom back a little bit, and we'll see that my picture is way bigger than the work area of the machine, and that's why I took the measurement of my piece of work material so I know how small to make this. And I think I am going to make this about, let's say 90 millimeters. And now I can place that directly in the middle. And I'll zoom in, and we're going to go back over to the Cut Layer tab, and we're going to see that the mode is going to be set to monochromatic, simple black and white. Produces a lot of rich detail on our first sample engraving. Right now I'm just looking over the speed at 5,000 millimeters per minute and a max power of 80% in the line interval, or the line density, of 0.1 millimeters, and the overscan is set to 0. I'm actually going to bump that up to maybe 3 millimeters, and what that is going to do is when the laser gets to the end of the travel and it stops engraving, it's going to give it 3 millimeters to slow down, stop, and then the same 3 millimeters to get back up to speed before shuttling across. It's something that I like to add. It's a little bit easier on the machine to make it last much longer. I do that basically on all of my laser machines. I'm looking at the 5,000 millimeters per minute. I usually use millimeters per second. To convert that over, I can go into the menu system of CutLabX, or for this video, I'm simply going to convert it over manually. So 5,000 millimeters per minute. If I want seconds, I simply divide by 60, and that's going to bring up 83 millimeters per second, and I think that's a good starting point for this. So I'm actually going to leave all of the default settings in here. Next up, all I need to do is place my work material inside of the machine, set the focus, and come back here and run the preview button to make sure that the laser is tracking over the work material, and I'm ready to hit the start button. It's really that easy to load an image in, put some settings in, load the material in, and start creating a project. Now it's time to put some work material inside of the machine. I'll start by moving the laser head out of the way, place the work material loosely somewhere in the middle, and move the laser head back over that material. I'm going to flip the focusing arm down on the laser shroud, and then loosen up the thumb screw so I can lower the laser head down to the material. I'll lower this down just until that focus arm touches the material. That looks good, and I can tighten the thumb screw back up and flip that arm back up. Next, I'm going to secure the work material inside of the machine using my favorite red magnets. This is also a great method if I have a bunch of the same size work material that I'll be working with. Once this is engraved, I can easily remove it and place the next blank in there, ready to be engraved, and it's exactly in the same spot. Inside the software, I can hit the reset button, and that will rehome the machine. And now I can hit the preview button, and I'll watch for the travel of the laser over the work material. Here I can see I need to make some adjustments, so I'll move my image slightly. And I can hit the preview button again. This all looks good, and I'm ready to hit the start button and create our first project on the BlazeX M3. About 13 minutes later and the project's all complete. Let's check it out. This looks perfect, and the detail on this is absolutely amazing, and that's one of the benefits of actually using a lower powered laser module like this 5-watt one, is that the spot size is really small and it gives that incredible detail. There's not a single scan line out of place on this project. The sample project for today's video turned out great. I have a lot of rich detail that I get with a 5-watt laser module. That small spot diameter of the laser produces that phenomenal detail. Now, if I'm going to start doing projects where I'm going to be doing an equal amount of engraving and cutting, I definitely recommend upsizing to the 10-watt laser module. It's a great balance of increasing the speed and the power while maintaining the detail when I'm engraving. I had a lot of fun creating this video, and it didn't take too long to make this first project, and most of all, it was fun creating the project, which I think is entirely the point of these mini laser machines. And best of all, once I have the laser machine, I don't have to spend any more money on a software package. The CutLabX software that we used works perfectly well, and I highly recommend it on these mini laser machines. Stay tuned in the next video as I get the Rotary accessory set up with the M3. I'll get it calibrated, and of course, I'll be running a sample project to see everything working together. Now, if you like this video, show it some love by giving it a like. Subscribe to the channel, because not only does that help this channel grow, it's an awesome way to connect video content like this with great viewers just like you. And until we meet again in the next video, I'm Greg from the Laser Channel, where we learn, create, and share.